Hi guys and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 23 and it is time for our 15th round of the career mode, and it is match point for us. Today we could be MotoGP World Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, let's find out if that is the case today. So here we go then, boys and girls, starting from the back of the grid to make things interesting against the 120% difficulty AI. So let's go, let's see what we can do. Now, I don't actually remember the gap that we need to finish ahead of Enea Bastianini, but I think the target is just finish ahead of the beast. Oh, goodness me, what a hit into, was that Joan Mir onto the right-hand side? I think it was. Apologies to Joan Mir, but I do believe as long as we finish with 200 plus points more than the beast, we will be crowned MotoGP World Champion. Bet you didn't think we'd be saying that so soon, considering how hard we fought against the hardest difficulty in the game for the past 2 seasons on inferior motorcycles. Now we've joined the best team possible, we're absolutely killing it. So, the gap is still not quite there yet. We need at least 200 points, I do believe. So up on the inside of Zarco, really closing in now on the beast, getting close towards his rear tyre, that rear Michelin from the number 23. In fact, never mind about that, we're already through. Have a taste of my rear tyre then, Enea. Beautifully done, clean as you like, through on the beast. We're just a little bit shy away from 200 points. We need 9 more points to finish ahead of the beast by 200 points. That's absolutely massive when you think about it. That could be the biggest winning margin in MotoGP history. I'd have to Google that, I'd have to check it. I do know we've had some pretty large gaps in the past. Now, Rossi at one point had about 150 points, but these were before the days of sprint races and everything else. I think even Marc Marquez had a really large gap as well, probably back in 2019. But here we go then. Onto the power, then onto the brakes, going into the first corner. Of course, reduced lap times here, or excuse laps here in Mandalika. That's not down by choice of my own. That's simply down to the way the tyres wear at this circuit. So there's less laps here at this track than there is at certain other tracks, even if it is set at 50% race distance. So onto the right-hander there. Look at Miguel Oliveira going wide. That's more points to us. And in fact, did Enea Bastianini lose a point at some point? Maybe he did. That was a lot of points in one sentence. But yeah, he's down to 262, and we're up to 454, which could be even better in a moment. I know the AI struggle a bit on the brakes there to turn 10, so we're now through, and we found ourselves even more additional points here in Mandalika. And in fact, it could get even better here because Jack Miller, although he's doing a cracking job this season, he can't contend with this. I mean, take us out the equation, and he'd be right there in second place behind Enea Bastianini by what? Just 21 points. He's right there. Well, it would have been 21, but unfortunately someone has had to get involved. However, Jack Miller fighting back in the early stages of this Indonesian sprint. In fact, is it Indonesia? Yeah, it's Indonesia. Apologies, I got that wrong for a second there. I remember last year, Jack Hammer was watching the video and he called me out because apparently I called this the Indian GP at one point. So I don't know how that happened, but I started questioning it then. Well, yeah, the circuit of Indonesia, not the circuit of India, which I apparently said last season, so my mistake. But anyway, into turn 2, I am human after all. We've seen that in the Indian GP, as a matter of fact. Mistakes were indeed made. A little bit of a mishap for myself a few days ago before going into Motegi, as we now go up on the inside of Jack Miller to take over at the front. 12 more points in our bag, and we are now 197 points clear from Enea Bastianini. That is absolutely sensational. 3 more points and we will be 200 points more. That's unbelievable. Now I think about it, I think it was, what, 220 before the end of the season to Valencia? I don't think it's possible now. I think we've done it. But I don't know, yeah. I'll wait till we get the achievement, because I know that pops up the second you win the MotoGP World Championship. I mean, it's still possible with him. If he wins the next race, and we don't finish in the points at all, that would reduce the gap down to about 170, 160. So, yeah, fair play. Maybe it's got to be in the race then. I think it's definitely got to be in the race as we go rather gentle into turn 16. A corner I never particularly feel too confident with, if truth be told. But look at that hard front. Really beginning to struggle now, isn't it? Regarding temperature I know this circuit, it does get rather warm, and it's doing that here now on the third lap, or the conclusion of the third lap. We now start the penultimate lap here in the sprint. Factory Ducati swerves its way into turn 2, then glides into turn 3. It is an absolute wonderful machine here in MotoGP 23. Gotta say, what a decision from the aces to choose the Factory Ducati for me. Been an absolute brilliant season. Might not have been as sort of intense as and possibly scary as the Red Bull KTM, but I've certainly enjoyed it nonetheless. Would like to try and squeeze in one more season, but of course I don't think that's going to happen with MotoGP 24 looming around the corner. Other content creators have had the preview, but I've been missing out, so I'm still desperate to get my hands on MotoGP 24. But fingers crossed, I won't have to wait too long. Fingers crossed and toes crossed for that matter. But here anyway on the penultimate lap here in Mandalika, we're about a tenth of a second off our fastest lap set earlier on lap 2. We could actually improve here on the penultimate lap. Gliding our way now into the right hand side for turn 16. A little bit deep, lost a bit of time there. But onto the exchange and into the left hand side. I think this is the time we set the new fastest lap. Oh, the old ride height device is getting a use in this one here today. Across the line, fastest lap on the circuit. It is a 1:28.438. And Enea Bastianini still occupies 5th, which will find him 5 points. But it's not good enough against his competition when myself is earning 12 points for the sprint victory. I think we've done it now, and I think we've cracked Jack Miller. I've always said that you break the resolve of the rider when you finish with a second ahead, or you have a second advantage. What resolve do you have left when you're 4 seconds ahead? I mean, or 4 seconds behind to decide. I guess nothing at that point. But onto the right hand of them. We did find a couple of tenths of a second in that first split. We now go into the right hand. Ooh, ooh, steady. Almost pulled a Jorge Martin. I think it was this corner here where Jorge Martin crashed out in 2023. And it's certainly a crash that cost him the MotoGP World Championship. We're not going to do that here today. It's clean, concise and precise for the number 47. If we do another season, do I run the number 1? But I guess if I did that and I moved on to another team, then Pecco would be back with the number 1, which would just be really weird. But yeah, 2 number 1s battling it out on circuit. It's like a fake champion and then coming back as a new one. Anyway, into the left-hand side, this is the final time of today's MotoGP sprint here in Indonesia. We are victorious once again. Big wheelie for the aces, celebrations all around. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the wheelie. So there you are, confirmation on your screens. We did have the fastest lap, but somebody's pinched it right there at the death. But yeah, that is the rider standings of the race. Let's take a look now at the championship standings to see where Enea Bastianini falls behind and where the rest of the competition heats up for that 3rd spot in the championship. It's certainly going on, isn't it? Mavericks in there, Marquez and Miller all battling it out for 2nd and 3rd respectively. So here we go then, starting now the Mandalika race. I am going to run Power Stunning 1 because of course I do believe this is going to result in a championship endeavour, so why not let it fly with the lowest power option and just see what we can do. Already making, steady on, just touching the rear tyre of Paul Espargaro, but we're making moves already in the earlier stage of the race on the hardest difficulty in the game. It's really not a problem, is it? And we are now a couple of points away from achieving a result like no other. 200 points clear from our nearest and closest competition in the form of Enea Bastianini. Here it comes, ladies and gentlemen, sizing him up for weak spots. And we finally now get through. In fact, we might go for the double here. Through on the Beast. Through on Zarco. Not quite. We didn't quite have the legs there without power setting 2 or 3. But there it is. Feast your eyes on the right-hand side of your screen. That there, my friends, is a 200-point advantage for your virtual rider here. Look at that. I can't believe that brings a tear to my eyes. And I tell you what, if Jack Miller wins this one, look how that puts him in the hunt for 2nd place in the championship. Of course, last season when I was on that factory motorcycle, I managed to get second, missing out by about, was it 60 points and like to Bastianini? Really tried my hardest, but it wasn't enough to get the job done. Now on the straight, we will try and pick up a little bit of slipstream, and then hopefully make short work of Luca Marini. Of course, the last time Luca Marini was in pursuit of me, he won the race in India, because I made that small mistake going into the right-hander, and yeah, completely ruined my aspirations of winning in Buda. Buda, never know how to pronounce that circuit, apologies. The Indian GP, my friends, you know which circuit I'm referring to nonetheless. But Luca Marini looks like he's made a small mistake, bit aggressive there, but we're through. And now where's Oliveira? Where is the lunge going to happen? I'm going to go for it here. Yeah, this is absolutely materialising. Look to the left-hand side of your screen, there's a little white line there. Brake right at that point. And we're now 207 points clear from Enea Bastianini. It could get even better in a moment. We're about to find 5 more points, I can assure you. Jack Miller, even on the lowest power option, we're charging here. Look how much fuel we've got as well. Plus 17 laps of fuel. Unbelievable. Quick change of direction, then into the right-hander for turn 14. We're through. Oh, that's aggressive. That's a big hit, that. Good Lord. Will Jack come back, though? I think he might. I kind of left the door open from there. I wanted him to see if he was going to come through. He obviously didn't fancy it. Wasn't serious enough about retaking the lead, is he not? Apparently not. Well, here we go. Across the line. Should be a fast lap of the race. It certainly is. 128.868 for your MotoGP World Championship leader. And soon to be MotoGP World Champion. Unbelievable. 2 seasons ago, I realised how hard this difficulty was, and I thought, you know what, I'll probably not get the job done. Second season made me a believer, but there was a lot of rain, there was a lot of issues last season, which I thought, you know what, maybe I'm not going to get the job done. And then here we are here today. 15 rounds in on our factory Ducati season. We don't even need to race the rest, the other 7. Unbelievable. In fact, it's not 7, is it? It's another 5 races, apologies, I don't know what I'm on about. But yeah, another 5 Grand Prix. We will have Sepang. Well, Phillip Island's next. We have Sepang, we have Qatar, Valencia. I do believe that's it. So maybe it's just a 4. Maybe. I must be missing one there. I'm sure you'll tell me in the comment section down below. But yeah, we've got a couple of rounds to go. And we're looking absolutely unstoppable. We're now 1.7 seconds clear from Miguel Oliveira. Everything is peachy. Everything is marvellous. On to the right-hander then, gaining 0.5 of a second. We could get a 2-second advantage here. This is going to be our best lap of the weekend, isn't it? On to the left-hander. On to the power. Can we get across the line to get a new fastest lap? We certainly can at 128.4. That's better than what we did with Power Steering 3 in the sprint about 5 minutes ago. Whoa! Oh, a little downshift there to first gear. My mistake. I got sucked into the moment there of actually upshifting more when I'm on a higher power option. Well, that was scary. First little mistake coming in here in Mandalika. And that has actually pulled Miguel in by about 0.6 of a second. So just be careful. Let's not do anything too wacky now. I know we're trying to get faster lap times, but don't really need to achieve that right now. Just try and bring it home and keep Davide Tardozzi's heart rate to a minimum. Don't want him to have a heart attack in the Indonesian booth. But on to the right hand, and then this is turn 11. We're losing time here because, of course, we did make that mistake into turn 1 a moment ago. So now into the left hand. This is a tough corner to get right. Either you run it too deep or too tight. It never seems to work out exactly how you want it. So on the right-hander again. We now go onto the brakes. That's a little bit deep. I'm going to have to be careful here. That's really deep, as a matter of fact. Look how much time we lost. Goodness me. Let's keep it together. Let's not start making mistakes. I know that hard front is begging to end this race, but I mean, it's just cropping up a little bit. I think the problem is when you're comfortably leading by so much, it's easy to start getting distracted, start making small mistakes, thinking about what you're having for dinner or thinking about thumbnails and titles and such. It's easy to make those mistakes. But we've got to maintain this here. Because we have the absolute perfect chance of signing, sealing and dealing the opportunity of becoming a MotoGP World Champion here today. Something not to be scoffed at, and it's something not to be messing or faffing around with. And I've got to say, that gap to Miguel, I know we've not been absolutely on it, but it's closer than I thought. 1.6 is the gap. I actually thought we'd pull away from it, even though I made those mistakes. I still felt that we could pull away from Miguel. He's the only Aprilia there in the top 5. Maverick's down in 8, so he's not doing his championship challenge much assistance. Jack Miller in 3rd. He still remains in 3rd place in the World Championship and only really brings home 16 points. But at the same time, Enea Bastianini's just doing what he can to maintain that 2nd place in the World Championship. Of course, easy enough for the Teams Championship, the Constructors Championship, the Riders Championship. Everything will be dealt to the Ducati boys. Everything will be stained in red for the Bologna Bullets. It's a perfect season. It really is. There was a point as well where Marquez actually got 2nd place in the championship. That seems to have calmed down now. That seems to have worked its way back in the favour of the red brand. That gap is still the same. In fact, that gap is coming down here. 1 second is the lead. It obviously will go up in a moment, especially when we go into the right-handers here. But by how much? We could have a race on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. Could this be a Power Setting 2 job after all? Maybe I'll need a bit of assistance. So what was the latter stage? Well, still got 5 laps to go here, or 4.5, depending on your preference. Yeah, it's only Miguel who's close enough, though. Take a look in your map in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. You'll see a ride that's closing in, and then a rather large gap to a huge snake of motorcycle riders. There's a lot of riders trying to get involved there. Across the timing line for Sector 3, we're losing about 0.8 of a second on this lap. I think the problem is that front tyre. I know I chose the hardest option, but it just doesn't feel all that good when it gets really warm just like that. So, oh no, bend it! Oh no! Oh my god, I was just talking about the front tyre. I can't believe that. I knew it was going warm, but my god, it just dropped. Well, I haven't made a mistake like that in a while. That's a silly, silly mistake. But I tell you what, I didn't feel that at all. I didn't feel that coming at all. Oh, I can't believe that. Well, I'm definitely going Power Setting 2 now. We've got to try and catch up to Miguel Oliveira. I can't believe that's just happened. I mean, the crash in the Indian GP, that was absolutely my mistake, and I could feel that was coming because I went onto the curbs. But wow, there was zero warning with that, and I would say that I wasn't braking particularly that hard. I felt rather confident going into that corner, but that just absolutely washed away. Crazy that was. Well, I guess mistakes are beginning to crop in, aren't they? Beginning to creep up as we try to go the long way around. Luca Marini got sucked into that one, to be honest. Lost a big chunk of time. How much time did we lose? We were up by 0.2, so we lost 0.4 in that exchange. Not ideal, but as we dive into the left-hander, I think we could make short work of Luca here on the left. Not quite. I also didn't go tight. Luca ran it in really deep, and I did the exact same thing. Well, I can't believe this. I really wanted to win the race and the championship all in one foul swoop, and I've blown it. There'll only be one achievement left then for MotoGP 23, and that'll be to win in the Saxon Ring. I'll have to try and do that at some point, but Miguel Oliveira, not just been gifted the lead, but he's now just set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix with a 1:28.368. Stellar work from the Portuguese. Now, I actually had a decent lap time there considering we made those mistakes. So we probably would have had the new fastest lap there if we didn't make that small blunder with Luca Marini. Now, I hope he doesn't hit... Ah, look at that. I was hoping he didn't hit me there because, of course, we had the move done. And that's now an additional couple of tenths of a second lost whilst we're trying to hunt Miguel Oliveira. I really need to get through on Luca here, but he's proving difficult. Here we go, though. Can we? I'm just going to have to force it. Sorry, Luca, but He's not letting me get through. Where's this late pace coming from, Luca? Oh, that's messed up. That's not exactly how I wanted to get that done, but we've lost 3 tenths now. Luca won't be happy with those lunges, but I'm just trying to get back through. There's the tight apex that I wanted. Let's see what time we find for choosing that. Wow, we gained nothing. We didn't gain anything. I can't believe this. There's no way I'm going to catch 4 seconds back up to Miguel Oliveira. I can't believe... Oh, look at that! Steady on! Oh, okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, look at the state of the rear tyre now. That's it. That's curtains. I can't believe it. Miguel Oliveira. Brilliant, fantastic, superb, stupendous rider. In real life, has had a bit of a tough go this season here in MotoGP 23. Yet here, he's on another level, another planet is Miguel Oliveira right now. Well, we still will win the World Championship and we'll also finish 200 plus points to Enea Bastianini, but I've got to say, there was no other tyres to choose from, and yet they still feel like the wrong tyres. The hardest compound on that right-hand side of the hard front is a mess. And I am not even that aggressive on the brakes. That's astonishing. And the astonishing thing is here that I'm actually on a good lap time here, and yet we still can't get anywhere near Miguel Oliveira's lap time. The gap is still quite comfortable, 4 seconds. We're not winning this. We are not winning this Grand Prix. The featured race has been a disaster in Mandalika. Well, I say that. We're going to finish up the bridesmaid in the race. But we will be the bride. We will be married. We will be crowned victorious here in the top step of MotoGP. Of MotoGP 23. We will be MotoGP World Champion, but we'll have to wait one more lap as we have now concluded the penultimate lap. The gap is up to 5 seconds. I don't know what Miguel Oliveira had for tea, but he's ready for this one. I guess it would be for breakfast rather, but I guess it would be late for me here, this one, I imagine. Or would it be early? I don't remember. But yeah, maybe he's had some tea. God bless him. Good to see Miguel Oliveira doing well. I do like the Portuguese rider. We have half a second to 8 tenths to Luca Marini. Is he going to deny me for second place? Surely not. Still using power steering too, but you know what? I'm beginning to think that was the wrong choice. Felt more confident with power steering 1. The tyre is so warm and so red hot that I don't think we benefited, although we have pulled in 9 tenths of a second on the lap here in Miguel. So whether he's made a small mistake or he's just thought, you know what, I've done the business, I'm going to be a MotoGP winner on the Aprilia for the first time, why not? Let it fly, go full send, enjoy the victory, because we are going to enjoy even more special moments. This is it, the penultimate corner. For the final time in MotoGP 23 potentially, we now go into the final corner and we will be crowned MotoGP World Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, we've done it. MotoGP World Champion. After all, after crashing, we still finish on top. Oh, there's the achievement noise. God bless it. Love that noise here on Steam. So good. Well, there you go. Confirmation of the race results. Miguel Oliveira with a little cheeky grin. 4.5 seconds victory to him ahead of me, with 6 seconds clear from Luca Marini. So let's take a look at the championship standings to see what the damage is for every other rider that isn't ourselves. Look at that. 208 points clear from our closest competition, Enea Bastianini. Jack Miller 3rd, Marquez 4th, and we have secured MotoGP World Championship. I guess we'll just go for it. Let's see if we get to 600 points before the end of the season. But guys, that's it from me. Thanks for watching the video. I certainly hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know in the comments section down below, and I will see you in the next video tomorrow. Ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.